Paul, a name that rolls off the tongue like a lukewarm baked bean. Short, simple, suspicious. Now traditionally, Paul comes from the Latin Paulus, meaning small or humble, which is polite academic shorthand for, "You once soiled yourself on a trip to Alton Towers." The first Paul in recorded history was Paulus the Ineffectual, a Roman public speaker who once delivered a stirring speech to a field of goats for 3 hours before realizing the Senate was behind him. The name then spread through Europe like a bad smell in a damp cloakroom. In 9th century France, Paul was a term for a man who owned exactly one shoe and got nervous around horses. In Norse mythology, a Paul was a lesser-known god of receding hairlines and prematurely graying pubic hair. In medieval England, it was believed that a child named Paul would grow into one of 3 professions: a urine taster, a man who collects rainwater for no reason, or a wandering lute player who knows one song by Ed Sheeran and sings it badly. The Tudor court had a position known as the Royal Paul, whose job was to interrupt banquets by falling downstairs and loudly apologizing for things he didn't do. The 17th century explorer Paul Fistworthy attempted to discover the Pacific by walking east out of Birmingham. He returned 6 months later with a sprained ankle and a squirrel bite. No one had asked him to go. Modern psychology tells us that 89% of Pauls own a fishing rod, but have never once used it. Most report an unshakable feeling that they left the oven on, even if they don't own one. Common characteristics of a Paul include refusing to read instructions, but loudly blaming the manual, and that laugh where you exhale through your nose and nod slowly as if you've understood a joke but haven't. If your name is Paul, you are not alone. You are one of many, a sea of beige, a tidal wave of mediocrity. But fret not, dear Paul. There is dignity in anonymity. You may never be king, or cool, or entirely sure how Bluetooth works, but in this life, at least you weren't named Nigel. Which name should I do next? Subscribe and comment yours.